There is no doubt that Sexy Red has had a phenomenal year, but there is a reason why these tickets to this tour are not selling, and I'm not surprised. Let's talk about it.
Y'all already know what time it is. I got the black V-neck on.
What's going on, you all? Let's talk about it. Y'all asked me to cover it, and I want to talk about it. Sexy Red has had a great year. Like, all of her songs have been bops. The girls have been listening to it in the club. You can find many like videos of folks getting turned, getting sexy, like, ooh, like all of her songs. A lot of those songs have been hits, like specifically in the club, in places where people are together having a good time. Like, it is a vibe. And I'm using these words specifically because we're gonna get into the conversation of why I believe that Sexy Red, her tour is not selling. And I know some people believe that maybe it has to do with Sexy Red being quote unquote canceled because of her alignment with Trump and the maggot stuff and all the other stuff. Like, girl, that may be a little bit of the reason. Like, it may be, but it's not the biggest reason. And this is what I'm thinking, and this is what I believe. Sexy Red is talented. I feel like she is the moment. She is making songs that are not necessarily taken serious. Like, she's not known for her bars. It's a vibe. It feels good to listen to her talk about her experience, like this ratchet, whatever. Like, I don't take Sexy Red serious. And I think that is the reason why the tour is not selling. Sexy Red, her songs, like, everybody get it, like, it's that. But there's a couple of things. Sexy Red, her vibe can be created without her. There's a reason why the songs are going off when she's not there. Like, the songs are going off and people saying, like, get it sexy in the club, even in the car. You don't need Sexy Red to be present to enjoy Sexy Red. I feel like artists need to really pay attention to this because we're seeing a lot of artists who have a significant following, like trending, like talked about, the TikToks are blowing up. But when it comes to selling stuff like this, like a tour, they're unable to do it. Like, it does not translate. It does not go any further. Some folks will argue that Sexy Red has a way younger demographic of people and they can't buy tickets. Like, these are Generation Alpha or Generation Z. They're not buying tickets. They ain't got the money. They not, they ain't doing it. They ain't fighting Ticketmaster to show up or whoever. And I think that is too. I feel like there are a lot of things. And that can be true, but I don't think it is one of the biggest. As I said, Sexy Red does not need to be there for the vibe to be there. And there's a reason why I said she is the moment. A lot of folks, and there's no shade, believe Sexy Red is not going to be relevant in the next couple of years. Is her 15 minutes coming up? It's kind of hard to say because 15 minutes of fame, when we use that terminology, like 15 minutes, this was before like social media. Like, a lot of us are online. Even someone who is only given quote unquote 15 minutes of fame, it can be stretched longer because of social media. There's a reason why folks that we've not heard of, people are not really paying attention to, they do something random or whatever. It becomes like content or whatever we see on like the Shade Room, Neighborhood Talk, and conversations. Like, the blogs pick it up and we'll talk about it for a hot minute and then it goes away. That happens. Like, they can stretch that time. They can do things to get attention. That stretches this 15 minutes that they had out. Sexy Red hasn't necessarily got there, but I feel like it is coming at any point. Sexy Red is trendy. And she is doing good being trendy. Like, all of these songs are trendy songs. It's a vibe. It's all of that. And the last stage of trendy is tacky, in the words of one of my friends. We don't follow trends long. There's a reason why y'all are not watching mukbangs on YouTube anymore. There's a reason why y'all not watching story times anymore on YouTube. The trends come and go. There's a reason why now baggy clothes are coming back. There's a reason why thrifting is becoming a thing. Trends come and go. And Sexyy Red hasn't solidified herself as an artist to be taken serious. And it's not showing up right now, but this is the beginning of the crack. For someone to be as talked about as Sexyy Red, someone that performed at the BET Awards and got a better response from the audience than someone who ate the stage up like a Victoria Monet, it's telling. Like, it is telling. Like, Victoria Monet may not be getting that type of attention, but over time, it's coming. Like, over time. Because Victoria Monet is an artist that takes herself serious, and she is perfecting her craft each and every time. Sexyy Red on a concert tour performing 2-3 hours. How long are y'all gonna be bow? How long y'all gonna be doing that for 2-3 hours? Not even just that. Do you all genuinely believe that Sexyy Red can perform that long without getting tired? When other artists who are struggling doing that, like performing and staying on, like artists who've been doing this for a while, tours are taxing. They are taxing. Sexyy Red is an artist that comes out 15-30 minutes before the club closes and performs. That is what she is. Like, the stage is just bigger. Like, her presence is bigger. But Sexyy Red is the artist that you see at the club hosting a venue, and she gets there like, oh, Sexyy Red's in the house, she coming, and it's 11-12 o'clock and they ain't there yet, and the club closes at 3 o'clock, and she gets there right at 2:15, does a walkthrough, gets on the stage, performs a couple of songs for like 20-30 minutes and leaves. That's what Sexyy Red is. And we need to understand that social media, TikTok, and all of these things, streaming necessarily doesn't really mean shit, to be honest. It means something to the labels. Labels are not doing anything but like taking this data and stuff and saying, oh girl, we can recreate that. They doing the same thing that these pharmaceutical companies are doing with Ozempic. Like, oh, okay, y'all want some weight loss medication. Let's get that rolling. Like, let's make that work. Like, we got money to make. That's what it is. Like, it's a product. And Sexyy Red is a product, and she's a product for right now that's on the front line shelf. Like, she is not something that's going to be there. It's like, she's not a brand necessarily. Like, she's there, it's visible, but it's not a brand. We are thinking and believing that Sexyy Red sound is significant to just her, and it's not. It's not at all. And it won't be now. Probably won't even be like soon, but there will be another artist that is similar to Sexyy Red coming out. I'm telling y'all that. Like, I'm telling y'all that. Like, the labels and stuff will come up with something, and not even just the labels. Like, people will pay attention to that, and they will come out. Like, Sexyy Red hasn't solidified herself again as an artist. She has not. And that's not a bad thing. Like, every artist that comes out doesn't have to be, oh, I want to sell out tours and all that other stuff. But artists like Sexyy Red want to make money. Like, they want to make money. And she came out and she responded to reports and a tweet from The Art of Dialogue. Sexyy Red's upcoming tour is reportedly on the verge of being canceled. Only 37.11% of the 85,217 tickets have sold via touring data. And 37%, wow, that's low. So she responded to it and said, my fans are buying tickets. We're doing just fine. We're not canceling no tour. This canceling-ish, all cap. She continued and said this is how they try to do you when you go with an independent promoter and the bigger companies try to sabotage you. We not canceling ish. And now they playing dirty, paying pages, spreading the fake news to discourage my fans from buying tickets. Now, there has been some conversations and stuff about how Ticketmaster moves and stuff. Like, Ticketmaster wants to be the number one. They want to be the only place that you go and get tickets from. Her interjecting and saying that it's a black promoter and da-da-da-da, all these other things and stuff. To me, she's adding that this is like a black-owned business, like y'all doing too much, like da-da-da-da, like support. Like, that's what it's giving. Like, y'all tearing black folks down. Like, this is a black independent like promoter. And when you're doing a tour and stuff, it takes money. Like, when you're doing a tour and promoting, it takes money. That's why, you know, folks who are signed to labels are able to do better tours because they have more access to capital, and then those folks can negotiate, like, you know, certain things. So yeah, it is harder when you're independent. It's definitely harder. But again, like, tickets selling, like, everybody's not on Twitter. Everybody is not on social media. Like, everybody's not. Sexyy Red is not able to sell at least half of her tickets. That's concerning. That's concerning for any artist. Like, maybe Sexyy Red is not ready for a tour. I don't think she's ready for a tour. I think she should be doing the JT route. She should be doing stuff at venues, smaller venues, and but she's been doing that. Like, she did that, I think, last year, if I'm not mistaken. She needs to continue doing that. She hasn't got there yet. Like, this comes to building yourself and solidifying yourself. Like, I'm still doing that, and it's good. Like, you come in, it's sold out. Like, it looks good. Like, this is sold out. Like, ain't nobody else coming. It looks good when you can put sold out in your thing, like, to the point that people lie about stuff being sold out, and it's not. Sexyy Red, 37% is not good. There's other factors. We can talk about it. Every artist on tour right now needs some money. Every artist is on tour. Chris Flippin' Brown on tour right now. Like, they said he done made like $9 million in like 2 days. Yeah, because he's selling like hugs and booty rubs and stuff for $1,000. Like, these folks are on tour back to back. Like, everybody's on tour. And we ain't got no money. Like, everybody and their mama on tour. Like, girl, like, everybody. Janae is on tour. She just had a baby not too long ago. She's on tour. Everybody is on tour at this point. And they on tour because these folks, these celebrities, artists are broke. They ain't got no money. Like, shit is expensive. A lot of these artists are on tour because they are broke. Like, the money is drying up. There's a reason why y'all getting emails every other week of merchandise like being sold. There's a reason why they're pushing, like, it's giving very 2007, 2008 right now. This is giving me very much 2007, 2008, Obama finna win. Because George Bush didn't tow the economy up. Like, it's giving that, which is hilarious, because if history was to be funny, Joe Biden would lose this election if he was to go ahead and continue running. Like, he would lose this election. That's what it's kind of feeling like, because, you know, George Bush, his person, because the Republicans, the nominee that they put did not win, because the economy and everything was in shambles, and that's what it's giving right now. And Democrats might be dealing with that. I already did a video about that. Y'all check that out. Yeah, girl, some folks gonna be hurt about that. But yes, like, you know, everybody, we ain't got no money. Like, y'all are trying to do a tour when 50 other people are doing a tour, and it's just like, Sexyy Red, it's no shade, but girl, even if your tickets are $50, I ain't finna be standing like, 2 hours. What are you gonna be performing for that long? Like, girl, it ain't making. What are you gonna be performing for that long? Like, come on, sister. Like, it ain't making sense for me. I'm looking at her tour now, like Sexyy Red for President and Huncho and who these other folks. Like, where is she coming to Atlanta? I don't even see Atlanta on here. This is interesting. Now, her tour is supposed to kick off on August the 22nd in Seattle. Where are the white folks you was standing in front of? They was getting crunk to your songs and stuff. Why they ain't there? What's going on? Like, what's the tea? Why they ain't showing up? We're coming on a month before your tour. And the tickets, 37% is crazy. Like, no shade. Like, it will end in Nashville on October the 1st. Like, and it's not even that long of a tour. It's probably what, 2 months, give or take. Like, girl. And 37%, how much are the tickets? Like, I'm very curious to how much the tickets are now. Because I guarantee you they're not that expensive, but it's not looking good. Like Sexyy Red, like, child, y'all gonna get enough of thinking just because someone is trending and everything else is like popping and like on social media, like that, you know, they are able to sell arenas and stuff. Like, as much as y'all are trying to be shady to Megan Thee Stallion and talk about like this album streaming numbers and stuff not being that high and like Megan put on a show at a tour and her tour is doing well. Like, her tour is doing well. I'd rather have 50,000 people who really rock with me than a million who ain't really sure. Like, I'll take that. And that's what JT is doing. Like, girl, I ain't trying to sell out all this stuff. I'm finna do these pizza parties and these backyard barbecues, and it is what it is. And look where she at. Like, she pushing herself. Like, she got an album coming out. Like, JT is doing the best she can with what she got, in the words of Mariah Carey. But child, her saying it's being sabotaged by bigger companies, I don't know if I believe that. Yeah, it also could be that the promoters are not doing a good job. Like, they're not on their job. Like, how are y'all not taking advantage of Sexyy Red being like this phenomenon and like no one is buying these tickets? Like, is the promoter doing a job? Like, it's a black promoter, but are they able to do the job? Yes, support black, but support black that is good. Like, that's what matters to me. I want it to be a person who knows what they're doing. I honestly don't feel bad for her if her tour is canceled. Like, Sexyy Red, I've just kind of just been laying low on her. Like, I've not enjoyed how she's been moving recently. Like, it's just a lot of things that I'm just not a fan of. And I just like, hey, you know, checking out. But hopefully she figures out. She don't. We'll see.